Serve it to spit. You need to sit back and observe a certified pimp. So fly. Oh, yes, he is. I mean, that boy does the shit. He's a mess, he is. Fresh to death. Ain't nobody fresh as he is. They can't compare or get next to him because he's so fly. I mean, the boy's so clean. From his white tee on down to those jeans. You see the ice in the pink.
Good evening, everybody. It's your man's Ken Jackson. This is the Ken Jackson Experience. Welcome to the show. It's been a while, I know. Getting over illnesses and the holidays and all that, and getting prepared for the new year. 2026 is upon us, and hopefully everybody will make it to the new year. We still have a few days, obviously, before we get there. But if we play our cards right, we will go into 2026, hopefully with a brand new attitude and outlook. But of course, the political situation will remain the same, at least for the next 3 years. Hopefully that won't get any worse. So, as you know, President Trump spoke to Zelensky today, and they held a press conference which was full of lies and half-truths and deception. Obviously, more distractions to throw us off track of the Epstein files, which is burning a hole in Trump's ass these past couple of weeks. Mainly because he won't release him. Even though he signed it into law, and this past Friday was the deadline for them to be released fully, unredacted, it didn't happen. And they are openly defying the law that Trump signed himself, that his people have been screaming for. It's been MAGA and the Republicans of recent weeks that have been screaming for the full release of the Epstein files, not the Democrats, y'all. As you all remember, it was MAGA that started the whole Epstein thing, claiming that there was a Democratic cabal in effect of child and female trafficking and pedophilia and all types of craziness. They were accusing the Democrats of orchestrating. Of course, we know predators have no political affiliations. They come in all shapes and sizes, all political followings, and all religious beliefs and backgrounds. What's crazy, it's like, say for instance, Christians, the white nationalist Christian movement, claiming to be so into God, in godly ways, but they are the main ones trying to persecute everyone else that doesn't follow their ideology. All of a sudden, Donald Trump claims to be the Christian crusader, attacking the country of Nigeria the other night with Tomahawk missiles, claiming to be protecting the lives of Christians who are being murdered by ISIS. Of course, if you got half a brain cell, it's not ISIS. It's Boko Haram. And they kill just as many Muslims as they kill Christians in northwestern Nigeria. It's been an ongoing fight in Nigeria for many, many years, of course. And, if Trump would have just told the truth, and if he had done it properly, like going to Congress to get authorization to conduct military operations, it might be a different story. But no, he just decides that he's going to go launch cruise missiles and drop bombs and do whatever the fuck he wants to do because he thinks he's King Donald, our dear leader, right? The wannabe dictator. He's murdering people in the Caribbean right here in our own hemisphere, claiming to be protecting Americans from the illegal drug trade and drug traffickers. But again, if you had half a brain cell, you would know that the drugs coming into the United States do not come from Venezuela. Venezuelan drugs, which is mostly cocaine, no fentanyl. Fentanyl does not come out of Venezuela. And their drugs typically go into the European markets. Not to say that's any better. Drug trafficking is drug trafficking and it's evil all around. However, this is the United States. We are supposed to be a country established on laws and due process. These people very well may be drug traffickers. However, our laws dictate that we are supposed to apprehend them, arrest them, bring them in, and try them in a court of law to prove whether or not they are who Mr. Trump is claiming they are. I got no problem personally with killing drug dealers and traffickers and such, provided they get their due process under the Constitution. Plain and simple. And you can't tell me that a motorboat, which is several thousand miles away from the American coast, is a threat to America. But we got the full force of the largest U.S. carrier battle group, the most powerful and most advanced U.S. carrier battle group in the Caribbean chasing motorboats. That's what the Coast Guard is for. And the Coast Guard was doing their job very well, apprehending these traffickers and taking these drugs out of circulation because they are trained to do that. They are at-sea law enforcement agency, and that's their job, to protect the U.S. coast. We're not at war with anyone. Because if we were, I would think that Congress would have declared war on someone. But if Trump was truly looking to protect us from the drug trade and the cartels, he would be going after Mexico and Colombia and Honduras. That's where the majority of the U.S. drug traffic comes from, as well as China and Russia as well. Remember Flakka, the zombie drug? That comes from Russia. That's a Russian thing. Fentanyl is a Chinese thing. But you don't see Trump going after Russia or China. In fact, Trump tries to be buddies with Russia and China. Right now, he's trying to negotiate away the lives of innocent Ukrainians who are fighting to defend themselves from Russian aggression. This war has been going on for the last 4 years, and Trump tries to portray it as if it's the Ukrainians' fault and the Ukrainians' responsibility to seek peace. The Ukrainians are defending themselves from outright aggression. Now, think about this. Think about if Russia had attacked the U.S. or any U.S. territories. We'd be in full-scale combat with the Russians right now to protect what's ours. But Trump is telling Zelensky he should just give up whatever the hell Putin wants. But Putin don't want to end the war. Putin wants all of Ukraine. And again, if you had half a brain cell, you would find that, guess what? Ukraine is older than Russia. Ukraine was here before Russia. Putin is trying to rebuild the old Soviet Union. He's trying to rebuild the Russian Empire. He's trying to stop NATO from expanding, even though NATO was put in place to defend Europe against what's happening in Ukraine right now. But it's funny to me how so many of you out here who have never served active duty in the military got so much to say. You seem to think you know military tactics and military doctrine and military laws, such as when the five U.S. lawmakers most recently put out an ad reminding U.S. service members that they are not obligated to follow unlawful orders. I just read a post, a comment on one of my videos today, asking me or telling me that I need to back it up with facts, and nobody has the right to tell anybody to disobey the orders of the president. Let me explain something to you idiots out there. The president is not the ultimate authoritarian in our country, in our government, in our establishment. The president is a servant of the people, period. Everybody who works in government are servants of the people. The Constitution's very first words are, "We the people," not Mr. President or Mr. House Speaker or Mrs. House Speaker or whoever. It says, "We the people," in order to form a more perfect union. Okay? They are servants of the people. We elect them to serve us and our interest. Period. We didn't give the president the ultimate authority to just do what the fuck he wants. He has to go to Congress by law. If you claim to be law-abiding citizens, you would understand that. But we have a wannabe dictator. We have a senile, old, sickly man who's not a very good businessman either. This dude bankrupted 6 companies, but y'all call him this great businessman. He bankrupted 6 companies. He's been convicted 34 times of felony crimes. Okay, he's an adjudicated sexual predator. In U.S. courts of law now, this has nothing to do with political bias or anything like that. He was convicted in a court of law here in these United States. Not to mention he's a 5-time draft-dodging coward, which me as a veteran, I can never support his ass in anything. Even if he was doing the right thing, I can't support him, because when it was his time to serve, he cowered out. When his number was called, he suddenly got bone spurs, and he, because he was the rich kid, that's why he got out of serving. But you Republicans, you want to talk about Joe Biden, and Joe Biden never served, but guess what? His 2 sons did. Beau Biden was a decorated Marine who unfortunately passed away of brain cancer. Okay? And what's the other Biden son? I can't remember the other boy's name, but he actually served in the Navy. But you know what? Unfortunately, he had a drug problem, and he had to leave service. but he served. Voluntarily, I might add. Beau Biden actually served in combat in Iraq. So let's knock off the bullshit about the Bidens, the so called Biden crime family. What crimes did the Bidens commit that the Trumps haven't committed on a much grander scale? We got Jared Kushner out here getting $2 billion from the Saudi Arabian monarchy after the first Trump term. $2 billion, and they're doing so much business with the Saudis. We know there's quid pro quos in effect. Trump is in so deep with the Saudis that it'll probably take 100 years to correct. The Trump criminal organization has embarrassed this country long enough. And let me tell you something. 2026 midterms are coming up. Y'all got to get out here and vote, y'all. I know you think your vote don't matter. You think your vote don't count. But y'all got to get up off the couch, get out, and vote. Plain and simple. We got to get these Republicans, and not all the Republicans are bad. Most of them are right now, but not all. There are a few that have some sense about, and a lot of them have retired. They were chased out of Washington because MAGA is so strong now, and but Donald Trump is such a disgrace and embarrassment. Every time I hear this clown talk, I'm thinking, do y'all hear the same thing that I hear? Do you? I really can't understand, how y'all don't hear, what I hear when I listen to him give a speech or he does one of his fucked up ass MAGA rallies, and here we are a year into his second term and he's still blaming Joe Biden for the fucked up situation that we have going on in this country. Joe Biden's been out of office now for a year. Trump, it's all you. Prices are not down, okay? The only prices that are down is gas prices. And it's not by a lot, but they are down. But everything else, inflation is exactly the same as what it was when Biden left office. So inflation is not going away. Grocery prices are still ridiculous, okay? Rent and mortgages are still ridiculous. I don't understand how people can afford to live. The cost of living is just out of control. But Trump is out here telling y'all that everything is great. Stock market's hitting record highs. The stock market has always hit record highs. Didn't matter who was in the White House. The stock market always rises. That's just a fact. And honestly, I don't think that has anything to do with whoever's president. That's all corporate controlled. Plain and simple. We got a situation, though, that definitely needs to be addressed in these upcoming elections. But the fix is in, so I'm not holding my breath. I do believe that the fix is in. And fortunately, though, a lot of these runoff elections, Democrats have been winning back a lot of seats across the country. And Republicans are running scared. They're understanding that their policies don't work. And you got to be honest. You got to look back through history, y'all. Republican presidents and Republican Congresses have never balanced the budget. They have never been positive for the country financially in any way. But they're supposed to be these fiscally responsible superstars that they're not. In fact, the last time we had a balanced budget was when Bill Clinton left office. He actually left office with a surplus. Bills were paid and money in the bank. And then came George W. Was it George W. or was it the other? Yeah, George W. After Clinton, and he fucked us up with the weapons of mass destruction. Wow, wow. These Epstein files. All they release is a bunch of photos of Bill Clinton. But guess what? Here's excuse me. Here's what y'all don't understand. If Bill Clinton committed any crimes, his ass needs to be prosecuted. Just like when he was impeached. Remember, he was impeached because of the Monica Lewinsky thing. Yeah, we took him to trial. We didn't remove him from office because honestly, getting a blowjob in the Oval Office, in my opinion, is not something to be removed from office. Again, like I said, he left office, the bills were paid, and money was in the bank. So, yeah, he did some other bullshit, other man bullshit, but he still got the job done. President Obama left Trump a growing economy, an economy that was going in the right direction. And mark my word, Trump came into office and then the COVID hit the first time. But he fumbled the football on COVID because for a long time he claimed it was nothing to worry about. It was nothing to worry about. And then, he all of a sudden comes out and pushes what was it, Operation Lightspeed to get the vaccine out there. And then as soon as the COVID vaccine comes out, the whole MAGA movement switched out and said, "Oh no, the vaccine is bad. The vaccine is bad. Don't get the COVID vaccination. It's horrible." Wait a minute. Your dear leader is the one that rushed it to the streets and took credit. Said, "Oh, we got the vaccine, out faster than anybody in history and this, that, and the other." And then all of a sudden the vaccine ain't no good. Maybe shouldn't have rushed it. Maybe should just sort of acknowledge COVID from the beginning for what it was and let the scientists do their fucking jobs instead of looking for a photo op, or trying to do something just to get praised, as for whatever. See, Trump's been fucking up since day one, even before he came into office. He's a racist, misogynistic, sexual predator, and again, a 5-time draft dodging coward. Plain and simple. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. That's why I don't understand the people that still support him as if he is their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And a lot of the Christian nationalists are always saying, well, he's ordained by God to save America. Let me tell you something. If there is a God, because I don't believe in the God that y'all think y'all are praying to. And guess what? That's my right to do so, to believe or not to believe. I don't subscribe to organized religion. I think church is a scam, just like a lot of politics is a scam. However, a lot of the Christian nationals say Trump, was ordained by God to save America. You think God gives a fuck about America and human politics if God exists? Do you really think human politics are something on God's radar? Knock off the bullshit. People, y'all need to bring your head up out of the sand and pay attention to what's going on. You're being scammed. You're being hoodwinked. You're being led astray, as Brother Malcolm would have said, or did say actually. But politics and religion are probably the two most destructive institutions ever created by man. And we are suffering big time right now because of it. But a lot of people are having spiritual awakenings. A lot of people are realizing that the power of God and creation is within us all. We all hold the same things inside of us that makes this universe, or at least our microverse right here on Earth, work. But unless we all wake the fuck up, yeah, y'all, wake up. Get woke and stay woke. Because they don't want you to be woke. They want you to stay asleep. They want you to just lay down and sleep through all the bullshit and not pay attention to what the fuck they're doing. That's what they want you to do. That's why they're constantly out here talking about, this is where woke comes to die and this and that. Listen. Pay attention. Why on earth would somebody tell you, hey, don't wake up? Nah, just going back to sleep. Going back to sleep. I got this. No, you don't got it. I'm getting my ass up. I'm going to be wide awake. And I'm going to watch every fucking move you make. Because when you fuck up, I'm going to speak out. And I might be there to punch you in the face if I need to. Plain and simple. We need one of them dudes like the dude that threw the shoe at George Bush back in the day. We need somebody to throw a shoe at Trump's ass. You know, maybe that'll jog something in his psyche to make him start doing the right thing. But I think he's too far gone. He's never, ever cared about anybody other than himself. And the whole world is looking at America right now as if to say, hey, you Americans are crazy as all outdoors. You know, crazy as hell. I'm going to turn up the volume. Am I not loud enough for you? I'm sorry if I'm not. All right. Let's see. Someone says, in my fair assessment of Trump and the last few presidents, they're all on the same team and we ain't in it. You know what? I agree with you on that. They will divide us all. They want separated. And you know what? That's something I can agree with. They are definitely all on the same team. You know, they're the elites. The elites that the MAGAverse claims to be so against. But Trump is one of the elites. Donald Trump has never lived our life. He has never experienced one day in his miserable existence the blue-collar life. He's never known a day in his life to have to worry about where he's going to lay his head down at night, if he was going to be able to have a decent meal, if he was going to be able to have decent clothes to wear. He's never had the pleasure of worrying about that shit. While we're all out here busting our asses every day, running on the hamster wheel just to live and survive, he has never experienced that. And I hear so many people say he's just like us. He cares about the common man. He don't even know a common man. He doesn't. I don't think Trump has ever even had a conversation with a common man. A conversation that he actually paid attention to. You follow what I'm saying? This man, and I grew up in the New York, New Jersey area, so I'm very familiar with the Trump organization and the bullshit that they've done over the years, as well as the Kushner organization, Jared Kushner's family. They're slumlords in Jersey and New York. They own a whole lot of trailer parks in Jersey. And their families, I don't know about now, but at one time the Kushners were far wealthier than the Trumps were, which is exactly why Jared and Ivanka were put together. It was a corporate bonding. But here's the thing. We need to wake up, and don't think I'm sitting here blowing the horn for the Democrats either. The Democratic Party has dropped the ball plenty of times as well. They sit back, and they try to pander for our votes, come election time, but all throughout, they seem like they're so disconnected as well because most of them are elites as well. A lot of them come into Congress, as regular folk, but after they get established, and they get on these powerful committees and shit, they lose touch with us, the people. They all do. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I think we should just get rid of all of them. Let's just clean the slate. Congress, the Supreme Court, all of these motherfuckers need to go and we need to start all over again. Politics does work from the bottom up, though. And see, a lot of people don't pay attention to their local politics and their state politics. These are the people who eventually go on to be federal politicians. So we have to pay attention to the process from the bottom up. But so many people are so lazy and disconnected and they don't want to participate because they feel disillusioned, by everything that goes on. I get it. I understand it. But the blind cult following that I see going on, behind Trump is beyond belief. I just don't get that. I will never understand that. This man commits crimes on a daily basis. He lies to you on a daily basis. Every time he gets in front of a microphone, he's telling a lie. And y'all follow him as if you I don't know, it's like you can't help yourselves. But who knows? Who knows? Hopefully things will turn around in 2026. Maybe the course correction will start if we get enough people out here really paying attention to what's happening, and really, coming to their senses about, this whole situation at hand. Because right now we look like we're in trouble, and I'm gonna try to remain optimistic in this coming new year. Actually, I'm gonna try to actually focus my energies toward other things and other messages, actually, because this shit gives me a headache every time I turn on the television or when I log online and I see these crazy ass, goofy ass headlines coming out of the White House, and I'm like, wow, really? This man is begging for a Nobel Peace Prize, but he's launching cruise missiles, into Nigeria and a few other countries too that they actually didn't talk about. Blowing up speedboats in the Caribbean, with the full force of the United States Navy, which we were never trained for. I served in the Navy for 10 years. That was not our job. In fact, when I was in, Vladimir Putin was a leader in the KGB. And the Soviet Union, was our number one adversary. And it was some scary times out there at sea. It was some very scary times out there. See, you people have no clue. If you've never served, if you've never been, you know, across the water, you know, in a military capacity, you have no idea, you know, how many times we've come close to ending it all. You know, and so, man, y'all just gotta you gotta wake up, people. You gotta wake up, pay attention. Look at history. You know, we're headed for self destruction. You know, this was actually a Soviet doctrine when I served. They felt like they would never have to fight us directly because they always felt like we would destroy ourselves from the inside out. And it looks like it's coming true. It really looks like it's coming true. That's why Putin is just stalling Trump out. He knows Trump's not going to do a damn thing. I don't know what it is he has on Trump. But you motherfuckers follow Trump and say, oh, he's so tough on Russia. He ain't tough. How is he tough on Russia? He was married to 2 Eastern Bloc women. He's currently married to one, but his first wife, Ivana, an Eastern Bloc woman. Kind of strange, huh? To think, no, no ties to Russia. No ties to Russia, but he's married 2 Soviet or former Soviet women. Wow. Explain that. Explain that. Make it make sense because it don't make sense to me. He's the grandson and the son of immigrants, but yet he's going so hard against immigrants. You know why, though? He's going hard against immigrants that don't look like him. He's going against immigrants who look like me. His grandfather was also a draft dodger. That's why he couldn't go back to Germany or Bavaria, as it was called back then. They didn't want him back. He left as a teenager to avoid the draft. Tried to go back later, and they were like, nah, stay your ass over there. We don't want you back. Look it up. All you got to do is read a fucking book. That's all you got to do. He's married to an immigrant who came here under questionable circumstances, overstayed her visa, you know, and then all of a sudden got an Einstein visa. Really? This bitch ain't no Einstein? Yeah, I called her a bitch. Your first lady. You've called Michelle Obama worse. Monkeys and gorillas and all types of shit. So yeah, I'm calling Melania a bitch. And she's an illegal alien who got citizenship illegally. And then brought her parents over here under illegal pretenses. Her ass and her family should be deported as well. But no, they're good. They're good. You know why? That skin tone, that non-melanin. You know what I'm saying? This country was built by immigrants and slaves, y'all. My ancestors built this country. Free labor from my ancestors. But yet I still volunteered and I served this country with honor. And now we got motherfucking colonizers trying to tear it down, trying to destroy the country that we built. I'm kind of pissed off about that, actually. But you know what? I'm not going to say anything else about it tonight. But this year coming up, we're going hard, y'all. We're going hard. This channel is alive and well. I'm back on my feet. I'm on my grind, and I'm on my bullshit too. All right. So listen, follow me, subscribe to the channel, Crazy Baby TV World, right here on YouTube if you haven't already. I don't sell shit, but I do talk shit. All right. So you're not ever gonna have to worry about me spamming you, and trying to get you to buy merchandise. I don't do none of that. I just come on and I speak my mind. Next Sunday, I promise you, we are going to have a good conversation. I want y'all to call in next Sunday. Send in your comments this week. Let me know what you got on your mind. Phone lines are going to be open next Sunday, 9 p.m. I started early tonight, actually. But we're gonna start doing this thing right, because we got a lot of work to do, y'all, to save this country from ourselves. Excuse me. Still getting over this flu, man. This flu is going around bad. And speaking of that, get your flu vaccinations. The shit is killing people, man. Get your flu vaccinations, because the strains are a lot stronger now. And because of this bullshit non-vax movement, people are now dying from something that we shouldn't be dying from. Measles is coming back. Are you fucking kidding me? Because idiots don't want to get vaccinated, get their kids vaccinated. I just don't understand it. Donald Trump has convinced y'all that science doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Come on, man. Let's get it together, y'all. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience. I will see y'all next time. Peace. I'm out.